I want to speak about spiritual awakening that I recently had and a lot of life changes that has been happening and mindset shifts. I had a previous YouTube channel and it was to do with skin. I suffered with moderate to severe acne for years. And on that channel, I put a lot of effort. Honestly, like, it was not only a passion, but also like a bit of a grind. Like, I wanted to build a community, and therefore I wanted to create the best videos, and therefore I'd spend hours editing. Because the topics were about acne and these things, I needed to know my stuff, and I would research and I would look at what keywords were performing so people could find it. And I did all of this, and I love that channel. It's almost at 10,000 subscribers. It's been 5 years, I think, I've had that channel. But I wanted to come on here with a new channel to talk just very authentically. No, nothing is scripted. I don't have any notes. I've not looked at keywords and what people might be searching for and this, that, and the other, because I just wanted to create content that can reach people that are going through similar things, that have been there before or are figuring stuff out like I am. And I didn't want it to be this effort. Do you know what? I just wanted it to be effortless. So this isn't going to be fancy edited videos. This isn't going to be all that jazz, but it is going to be real talk, and it's authentic content. Now, my background is went to church growing up. We weren't a highly religious family, but also the church that we went to was spiritual. So I understood about this world and the spirit world. I understood about life after death. I was exposed to that from a young age, and that was my belief, and it continues to be my belief. Spirituality, us as human beings, having purpose, having meaning, and that aspect isn't new to me. What's new to me is a spiritual awakening. When I saw videos on YouTube about people having a spiritual awakening, I didn't fully understand it. I thought that had meant they'd been doing a lot of spiritual work, which can be the case. They've done spiritual work, meditation, learning about chakras, going on this journey, and therefore becoming more and more awake to the matrix or whatever this is, okay? So I understood that. The thing I didn't like about certain people when they spoke about spiritual awakening is it sounded like something that was one of two things. I'm gonna be real. One was that it sounded like a superiority complex, like I am enlightened and my third eye chakra has awakened and everyone else hasn't, and therefore I am better. Not that necessarily these people were saying it, but that was what I was taking from it. Or some people, it really did sound like that's what they thought. Then also another thing was like, this sounds a bit culty. I know that spiritual awakening is something that someone can go through, but there's a lot of things tied to it that can just seem a bit culty in my opinion. But I think that also can be stemming from me projecting in that community is what humans, it's an area where humans thrive, yet we don't build those communities how we used to. Or when we see certain people having those communities within the spiritual space, for example, it can, for me, I'm like, it seems a bit culty. Sometimes it's just a really well put together community. And they're the main two things that I thought about spiritual awakening. So what happened for me to awaken, and what did that look like for me, and what did that mean? Because I don't think it makes me better than other people, and I also don't think it's a culty thing where suddenly I'm surrounded with certain types of people or doing certain things. It's not the case. So it all started at the end of 2023. I went through a breakup, and it was my first romantic heartbreak. Me and my ex had been together since we were 18. We were childhood sweethearts, and he broke my heart. That was physical pain, mental pain, and I'm still healing from it. That was the first layer where I can say being heartbroken does change you as a person. Me and my ex were together for 10 years, and rediscovering and rebuilding yourself after that is extremely difficult. And I am somebody that does my best to show up authentically to people in my life, as well as if I'm going to make content, I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not. Sometimes you've got to put on a brave face, I get that, but I suck at doing it. And with that, I lost a friend or two that just couldn't really understand what I was going through, couldn't see that this was grief. And maybe those friendships were just fading anyway, but that definitely took me into this deeper, like, what is going on? I know it's just one knee here, but honestly, I'm comfortable in this chair. So for me, that was the first thing. Music started to sound different after a heartbreak. Life started to look different. Nature looked... I've always been appreciative of nature, for sure. I'm the kind of person that will go out and be like, oh, the grass is so green. Do you ever just think how green the grass is? People will be like, you know, I've always had that. But I think it was like on another level when I was going through this. And I'm still going through this. It's been about 9 months since the breakup. But that's the first thing I started to notice is like things are different. I can sense and feel that things are different. Also, I think I lead a lot into God and my belief of God. I realized that I don't have anything other than God and me. Like I said, I'm not a religious person. I can go to church happily, but I don't follow an organized religion, and my relationship with God is very private. That's how I always preferred it. But within this journey, I've definitely started talking more about God and praying, and my prayers being answered, or manifestation, and these things happening, synchronicities, which the Artist's Way has done a lot. I will, it's supposed to be not so edited, but I will put a picture of the Artist's Way book that I've been doing for nearly a year actually, but we'll do another video on that. Then I was seeing, I think when you go through something quite big, regardless of a spiritual awakening or not, you see who's there for you and you see who's not. The people that don't show up for you in ways that you would have hoped, or don't understand, or just can't have the empathy towards what you're going through. It's really hard to actually admit that and be like, okay, this person isn't quite the friend I thought they were. Which is where this spiritual awakening comes in, okay? Because, so no, it wasn't that I just sat there one night and was like, whoa, I feel enlightened. I feel like I have just seen everything differently now. All these people are asleep and I'm awake. It wasn't that. It was that everything started to be different around me. And then I started to see how other people were fine in their life because they're all good. They're all good. And oh, I'm sorry you're going through this, but I'm all good. Not my closest friends, not the really great people in my life. I feel like it's a difficult topic to talk about because it does, in my opinion, make you sound like you are here and everyone else is there. But what it is you've opened up, you've been exposed to something and you see things differently. It's a different perspective than what the majority has. And it's wild because yeah, I can see people amongst me that are just asleep, just carrying on, doing their work, finding their partner, living their life. And in my mind, when I was there was nothing wrong with that. And that's what I'm still figuring out is to why am I seeing everything so differently? Why do I feel so isolated and alone? Because I see the world differently now. With that relationship, we also had a home together and I did a lot of legal signing and stuff to give over the percentage of the property and all this rubbish. So essentially I now live in this flat and I live alone. A lot of life transitions started to happen. A lot of changes at work. I changed manager and it was a different dynamic. Alongside the relationship breakdown, because of the legalities with the house and that kind of thing, I wasn't treated the best. And I think that hurt, obviously it hurt, but I received treatment that was just like, I wouldn't do that to someone. I wouldn't. And it showed me dark sides of people that, again, was just like, wow. These people they're not there. And it's on another level of people that can't even fathom what you're going through, fathom how you might be feeling, have the empathy to just imagine what it would be like to be in your shoes. They physically can't, they don't have the capability. And again, this is where I don't want to, I'm better than them because I can't, but it's a wild concept. And I really started to see that so clearly, so clearly, and lacking emotional intelligence and just all these things that I just thought, because I can, most people probably could, but it's not the case. It's not the majority. And it's scary. It's really scary. Then a couple months ago, I was let go from my job, and it was done in a shady way. It wasn't like, oh, you're a warning, your job's at risk, or da-da. It was done abruptly, very similar to my breakup. Abrupt. This is over. Just, you know, that abandonment wound is fully open right now, because it was just like things were being ripped from my life. I can always see a positive outlook and be like, these things weren't meant for me, that's why they're being taken. God has something better planned. Good things will come for me in the future. I believe that, I truly do. But when you're going through it, it's like, what is happening? The changes that were happening so suddenly, so abruptly, and just not in the nicest of ways, was waking me up. It was physically shaking me and showing me and being, look, wake up, look, see what's happening, look, open your fucking eyes. That's what happened. I started to pray more. I continued to journal and do all these things, and I can see that I am in a different headspace, that I'm not asleep anymore. And I can't believe it. I can't believe that that this has happened. And then my sister is also very spiritual. She went on a silent retreat. She was telling me that she was doing 10 meditations a day, and I was like, wow, I haven't meditated in a really long time, but that sounds amazing. And that evening I went and meditated. I put some meditation music on, I don't know, something I found on Spotify. And whilst I was in the deep, meditation state, I was seeing colours like purple and blue. And I was just like, wow, I really feel like I'm in tune with all of this again. Because it's not like we're born with this. We're born being the most connected to our spiritual self, because we've just come from that. And then as we go through life, we seem to get more and more disconnected. And I'm starting to feel myself get more connected. And I'm like, wow, this feels great. But at the same time, it feels awful. At the same time, it's like, but I can't seem to take people with me and on this journey. And it sounds so crazy. I know it does. Like, my friends are happy and doing great. It's not that, like, I know it. I know how it sounds, which is why it's for the people that are going through it. I really hope we can leave some comments of like, maybe better articulating what I'm trying to say, but it's just wild. I can't believe it's actually happened. And I didn't think it would be like this. I thought that it would just be through working and developing spirituality and going through life and becoming more experienced and a wiser person, but it's sometimes you're just shaken out of that shit and you're like, whoa, I see everything so differently now, and I'm realizing that not everybody's the same. Because, we hear, like, just because you're kind-hearted and you do this doesn't mean that everyone else has that mindset. I get that. I've always understood that. But that everybody else is just tunnel vision, like, continuing and not even trying to connect is wild to me. But also not everybody believes, so that's another thing, which is fine. It doesn't have to be God, but just believes that we're spirits and that we are souls and that kind of thing. Although it's the grief of everything that's happening that makes me feel like I am disconnected from my external right now. I'm disconnected from myself too, because I'm figuring everything out again. But I've been grounding, I've been praying, I've been meditating, and just trying to figure this journey out, because I don't know what this is. I'm still figuring it all out, but I just wanted to share how my spiritual awakening came about. If anyone can relate or understand, or how yours came about, what happened for you. Did you go through something, a big life change, and then it kind of came to fruition, or was that a slow gradual grind, or have you always been kind of awake? It's really something magical to experience, but I am apprehensive about making YouTube videos about it because not everybody's on the same wavelength, so it's a bit of a weird one. But I thought I'd share this, and within my videos I just want to share what's happening and how I'm growing and learning and developing as a person. That's it. That's my spiritual awakening. That's what's been going on, and it's a lot of change to deal with. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in another video because I'm gonna definitely be making more videos. Bye.